everyone. Welcome to my channel if you're new. Welcome back if you're returning. Happy Sunday. How are you guys? Hope everyone's doing well. I'm doing good. Just same old, showing you what products I'm using for this set. I did put on my community tab, I think, I don't know, 5 or 6 sets, and asked you guys to tell me which one you wanted. This one won at last count. I didn't look at it today. I looked at it the last time yesterday, and this set had one more vote than the other one, so I decided to do this. But this was, I think, 2.5 hours that I whittled down to 30 minutes. So I didn't want to go back to the post and look and see if another if another set ended up beating this one, because then I would have to start editing that one when I had spent the whole evening editing this. So I hope another one didn't win. This is the one you guys got. But the other ones will be coming up. Which was your favorite of those, if you guys saw the post? Because I can't decide which one to post next. Today's Saturday. This is tomorrow's video for Sunday, November 2nd. And how was everybody's Halloween? I hope everyone had a great Halloween. I'm going to be talking, I think, more about kind of like what I'm doing with the nails in this video. Well, that's my plan, but you know, I always end up jabbering. But I was going to say nothing's really happened, but kind of a little bit. I wanted to mention to you guys, let me make a note for myself here. Facebook and the house. Hold on. Okay, so yeah, the nails. I'm using this color. I can't remember if it was molasses or sachet. They're similar. I think this is molasses. And I'm putting it in kind of a pattern. So this is an inspo set. I did take inspo from Vanessa's nails, and I do show you this set somewhere in the middle of the video. So I'm going to leave this part of the nail clear, and then I'm going to ombre the brown over the top of the screen, which as soon as I do it, I hate it. These little foil pieces I have here, they're sticky. Not super sticky, but they have a little bit of stick to them, and they're in those sheets that are separated by little like pieces of wax paper. It's from Profiles Backstage. And I forgot what they're called. Obviously, they're foil papers, but they're called something to do with them being sticky. So anyway, they're super easy to use, but also kind of hard to use. But I was just outlining the acrylic pattern with the foil, and then putting these fall leaves. And I'm just going to put a little bit of clear on these leaves because they're not stuck to the nail with anything but my wet brush. So once the monomer dries, as I do the rest of my set and be moving my hand around, those could just fall off. So I'm just putting a really light wash of, I call it a wash, a really light wash of clear on there to just hold these down. When I do this, I'm going to use a really wet bead so that it stays clear, and I'm also not really like encapsulating fully. I'm putting a little bit, because I'm already here, making sure that it stays the shape of the tip. I don't want to put on like a huge wad that I'll have to file down later, or that will get in my way or make the nail misshapen. So that's what I'm doing here. But anyway, the next thing I do is ombre the brown down over the green. As soon as I do it, I hate it. Like right now, this moment, I was like, uh-oh, this is not going to look good. And this is also why I make sample swatch sticks of usually of the designs I'm going to make, because I wouldn't have done this. I would have already put this on a swatch stick and saw that it looked terrible together. In my opinion, this looks terrible. So I do end up removing this. So I think I maybe speed this up. I put on a couple more beads thinking maybe it'll be okay. Maybe it'll be okay. I slap a little fall leaf on there, and then I already know that I'm going to remove it, so I just continue on to the rest of the nails. So one thing I wanted to tell you guys, I mentioned a few videos back that I was going to tell you guys something I learned about Facebook. I was telling you that I got on that Whatnot app, but that I don't have like Threads or any other apps, and that I don't even have Facebook, etc. Well, I've also told you guys before that we go fishing down at the bay every day. Well, there's this guy who is down there quite frequently. There's usually no one there except for a select 1 or 2 other people that come down there pretty regularly like us. But the bay is big, so we may see them pass by in their boat, or hear them way down there, or maybe when we get there, they're pulling their boat out or putting it in. and then they go on about their adventure. So we only talk real briefly. How are you? Catching anything? Then like that, right? Also, so with this nail, I'll just mention, I'll go back to the story. This nail, I'm going to do the same on the ring finger. Or was it the pinky? No, the middle and ring are the same. This and the pinky are the same. So that's another thing is I got up to go do something and came back to finish the nails, and I was on the pinky. I'll tell you that when we get there. Anyway, so I'm just going to kind of make a fade, like a reverse ombre, so that the tip stays not clear, but just a fade, just like you see here. And you'll see what I do after that. I'm going to put on some fall leaves and glitter, I think. Glitter. That glitter from Kairose Nail Supply. I've been waiting for the fall to use that. I got this on a 50% off sale when they were selling their fall and winter acrylics last year. And I've been waiting to use this. I think I used it a little bit in one set, but I've been waiting to use it for a fall set specifically. One thing I learned about doing this with glitter on your nail, I've even said it in some of my videos, I used to have such a hard time making glitter look like it was a thin, like random spread or spray there on the nail. I could never do it. It would always end up in some big, huge chunk. And for whatever reason, it took me quite a while to like just figure out how to get it to look spread out and thin and like I mentioned, like a spray on there, the way this looks. And I would see other techs do it. Anyway, if you ever struggle with picking up a little bit of acrylic, a little bit of glitter like this, and it just seeming like there's too much and it doesn't thin out, obviously pick up less. But what I learned was to pick up the bead wet, which I struggle with. I like using more of a dense bead, but yeah, that really does the trick. I won't forget to talk about what I was talking about with the bay, but I'm going to let you guys know. These two nails, like I said, the middle and the ring are going to be the same. I'm going to marble the green and white, leave the bottom plain, do a foil outline, put some fall leaves, and then ombre some nude over the top. This one is going to go down, it's going to have a pattern where this nail goes down the right side and the other one goes down the left side or vice versa. But because I've said this to you guys before too, like my eye knows what it should do, but my hand won't do it. So when I go to make the other nail that is supposed to mirror, when I go to make the ring finger that's supposed to mirror the middle, I realize that I have them backwards. And so my hand automatically makes the ring finger how it should be, which is how this one is, off to the right. So this one should have been off to the left, meaning the empty space where I left the nail clear should have been on the opposite side. So when I go to do this one, I also put it to the right, and then I end up having to wipe it off. So that's what you're going to see me doing here. And this is how I marble. I find when I pick up really wet beads and like take the tip of my brush and thread it through the beads to marble, I always make a mess of that. I always end up muddying the waters and just making it look like a smear. So this is how I marble. I put on my regular consistency beads and like fold them in on each other. And I think it ends up making a nice marble. So I have not tried to teach myself the other way because this looks fine to me. I have learned over time that the more white you use in any marble, the better it looks. And you would think that that would be the opposite, like use your color. Also right here, once I see that my acrylic is becoming matte and starting to set, then I will kind of firmly get a wet brush and pat, pat, pat all on the top of it so that it lays flat. If you've ever done a marble like this or tried to like blend acrylics like this, you'll know that this will leave your nail very lumpy. Or if you're new to acrylics and you're encapsulating, you might find that your nail is very lumpy. One way to combat that, you see here how I'm making this exactly the same as the other one? No, it needs to go down the other side. So that's why I wiped that off. If that's a little trick for you guys, if you wait until your acrylic is almost set and come in with a wet brush and just pat, pat, pat it on the top, like I did there, it will flatten it out and it won't ruin your design. You could see when I did that, take it back a few weren't catching that as I did it, but that's what I was doing, was making sure it was level and smooth. Because see, right here where I put this on, if I don't smooth it out, there's going to be a big lump there. And to file it, I'm either going to have to file this before I cap to make it smooth, or cap over it. And when you cap over something that's really lumpy, you'll be able to tell. For whatever reason, that doesn't look right. Well, to me anyway. So I always make sure that I smooth out my acrylic before I'm finished, or I file it smooth, or I cap it. But if you have to file into a marble, it most likely won't ruin your marble because it's marbled. So even if you drill it down, there's going to be a marble pattern to it underneath, but it will change your design, you know? I hope I said that correctly. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I think the rest of this is self-explanatory. So I'm going to keep putting this foil here, and then I'm going to ombre the nude I showed you in the beginning, and then I'm going to put larger pieces of foil on the nude. Just FYI. And again, just so you know, I am placing this foil just with my wet brush, and then just like the other nail, just really wet, encapsulating it with clear. So anyway, as usual, it was a lot of over-explaining to tell you guys that we see the same guy a lot down there at the bay, okay? And one day he pulled his boat up out of the water, because we fish off the dock when we don't put our boat in, or the dock, the ramp, whatever. So he was pulling his boat in right next to us, in front of us. We had to move out of his way, you know, pull our lines out of the water. Well, Ness's, I don't fish. But anyway, as soon as he started getting off his boat, I started noticing that he had phone and camera clamps, like in 3 different spots on his boat, and he was wearing a GoPro around his neck. So I said, "Are you vlogging? Do you vlog?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I have a YouTube, a TikTok, Facebook." I'm like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Oh, do you have any followers? What's your handle?" Whatever. So right there, we followed each other, and I see that he has a popular channel where he fishes. He's just out there fishing, but he had his whole thing set all rigged up with cameras, right? Super cool. Anyway, that was just interesting. Out of all the places and people, we're literally in the middle of nowhere. No one comes there but like maybe 1 or 2 people, and one of them, I'm like, "I have a YouTube channel too, like what are the odds?" Anyway, so I asked him, like, "Do you make any money doing that?" Because I've been struggling with the money aspect. I'm monetized. I have all of the whoop-de-whoop in place, and I mean, I think it takes tens of millions of views or tens of thousands of views and subscribers to actually make like an income, not earnings or a little bit of money, but like an income. Stay home, don't have to work a job to support yourself with social media. So, but I'm curious, like if you have a large platform, I'm not trying to ask you any personal details, but do you make any money? He's like, "Yeah, I make some good money." And I'm like, "Really? That's so cool." As I'm talking to him, I'm looking at his page. I think it was TikTok I was on. I'm just showing you here that this is a no, and I'm going to take it off. And he maybe has like 1,000, maybe 1,500 people. So I'm thinking, well, how could he be making money? Because maybe he just said that. I don't know. But anyway, then he says, I said, "Oh yeah, well, what's the biggest earner? I've heard that I should be more active on TikTok." And he goes, "Well, actually, no, it's Facebook pays me the most." I said, "What?" Because, you guys, I hate Facebook. I have a Facebook. It has all my high school friends, everybody I've ever known, everybody, my sister, my family, my cousins, and everybody they know. And I just feel weird putting my nails up there. Like, I don't know. And, oh, yeah, this is how this comes that I was telling you about. It's called gold flaking, I remember now, from Profiles. They don't sell it anymore. But I really like it because it's super thin and it sticks, like I said. Very, very, very mildly sticky. All right, so anyway, I thought to myself, well, I wonder if I should create a new, like a separate Facebook just for nails and transfer all of my content over there and see if I make money over there, because he really was enthusiastic about, "Yes, ma'am, Facebook is where the money is." And I was like, well, I literally have never heard that. So any nail or content creators out there, are you on Facebook? And if so, is it a moneymaker? Like, what is that? I don't know. Here's what I meant to tell you. After I did this little ombre here, I got up and went and did something and came back. I unlocked my phone, zoomed in, but I forgot to hit record. So I did not show you guys doing the pinky. Here's the upcoming is the inspo. This is the inspo I took from Vanessa's Nails. Love her sets. I'm surprised that I could do anything even resembling the stuff she does. I used to look at her sets and be like, oh my God, I wish I could do that. I still can't do a lot of stuff she does, but I'm getting there. So the pinky, I wanted to say to you guys, sorry I didn't record that, but I did do the same thing on the pinky as I did on the index. So basically you already saw how I did that. And the thumb, the only thing I did off camera was remove it and start that one bead. And then for whatever reason, sometimes if I'm not recording, my phone will catch my eye because instead of seeing action on the screen and the screen being lit up out of the corner of my eye, I'll see nothing. Like it'll be black. And I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to hit record. All right, so that's what I wanted to tell you guys about Facebook. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys was about the house. So interestingly enough, when I have been over there by myself, painting, stripping paint, sanding, sometimes I'll go over there during the day while Vanessa's at work, and then she goes over there during the evenings, and sometimes we work over there together. I have been doing hardly anything. I'll do the riding lawnmower, and I mow the lawn. But most of the stuff are things I can't do, don't know how to do, would take her 3 times as long to teach me how, where she could have it done by the time she teaches me, that kind of thing. But simple things like painting or sanding or whatever, things I already know how to do, I've been helping with. But putting up our glass subway tile mirrored backsplash, I mean, those have to be cut and precisely put in and then sealed and then grouted and then sealed again and cleaned up and like all this stuff. So I'll like do the cleanup and she does all the work. So I just mean to say that there's only been a couple of times that I've been over there by myself, and then obviously real quick, you can see what I'm doing here with the nails. I'm taking that glitter and I'm just applying it and leaving some part of the nail clear, and I'm going to put on some leaves and cap it. After that, I'm just going to show some encapsulating, top coat, bling placement, and we're done. But specifically, 2 out of 2 times that I have been there, well, let me back up. The house is completely empty besides the construction things we have in there. So the floors are ripped up, so there's no floors. A lot of the walls were down to the frame because she was putting up new drywall. And then once the new drywall was up, it's just drywall, no paint, no carpet. So it's echoey. There's no furniture. There's, so 2 times specifically, I remember being there alone, and it was in the evening somehow. I don't know. I think she had decided to go fishing, and I finally said, you just go because you do all of this, but I'm going to stay and finish this one project I'm doing. This is one in particular time I can remember. Okay, I'm not like a super religious person. I'm also not a superstitious person. I don't really have any beliefs or disbeliefs strongly one way or the other about much of anything. I mean, if something can be shown to me, proven to me, it's tangible, I can hold it in my hands, I'm more likely and more inclined to fully believe it. But in the meantime, I'm open to anything that can be shown to me. That's kind of the way I operate. Twice, very specifically that night, I heard, when somebody walks and their pant legs rub together and it makes a swishing sound? But it's not just one swishing sound, it's the sound of someone walking. So it's swish, 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 swish. It's the sound of someone walking. Not footsteps, but the swish, swish of pant legs rubbing together. I'm by myself in the house on a ladder, pulling paint off in big long strips off of the wall. I had told you guys about that paint. It was latex paint, so it was coming off in big long strips, but it was hard to get off. But anyway, I'm by myself in the house. I was doing that all day, and it was making the same noise all day. So I know what noises I am making. So when I heard the pants swishing noise, it was a different noise, and it was not a noise that I was making. And it came from over there in the living room or down the hallway, not from in the same room I was in. So I thought Ness had come back to the house. So I said, hey, babe. She didn't answer me. And I thought, did I hear that? So I kept doing what I was doing, and I heard the pants swishing again. And so, you know, the house is kind of in the middle of nowhere, and it was dark. So I thought, wait a minute, what the hell? Babe? She didn't answer me. So I get down off the ladder. I walk down the hallway. Nothing. I go to the front door. Nothing. I look outside. Pitch black. The security light hadn't come on, so nobody had walked by. Come in. I searched the whole house. The back door's locked. I lock the front door, and I'm standing in the living room like, did I hear that? Like, what is going on? But I heard it twice. Whatever. I don't say anything. I forget about it. I go back to working. I literally forget all about it. Okay? I don't know. A few weeks go by. I'm back over there doing something else by myself. I hear the same thing. The swishing. I'm like, okay. I'm in an empty house. I'm in here making the noise I'm making, which at that time I happened to be using a sander. So that, you know, an electrical sander. So that thing was loud. Every time I turned it off, then the house was quiet. But while I was running it, all I hear is the sander. 2 times when I turned it off, I heard the pants swishing again, very clearly. So I think to myself, well, obviously this is just some kind of echo that I happen to be making myself, since there's no sound absorbing anything in this house. There's no carpet, you know, it's just whatever. It could even be wind blowing, something electrical buzzing. It just could be anything at all. It's certainly not like a ghost or anything. Come on. Well, another thing that I want to mention is that obviously I'm capping the nails here so you guys can see that. I'm not going to talk about the capping. I'll keep telling my story. The other thing is I've not been too excited about this house. I mean, we are loving the things we're putting in. We got excited about buying it. Yes, let's have, 4 acres and a beautiful property. The property's gorgeous. Who doesn't want to have 4 acres instead of 1? But I haven't really been excited about actually moving. And I feel like I'm dragging my feet just because who wants to move again? I don't want to start packing stuff. I don't want to disassemble my nail room. I have a nail room tour here up on my channel. I have it just exactly how I want it. Everything's right, perfect in its place, and it took me a long time to get it there. I don't want to move all that. We still have the bathrooms to do. The whole backyard is really big, and it needs a lot of work. And I feel like I'm dragging my feet and not really that interested just because, I don't know, I'm just not that enthused about it. And every time I go over there, I kind of have to make myself go over there. And I tell myself, it's because, Jen, you've discovered that you really don't like doing home renovations. When we first decided to do this, I told Ness, I'm like, oh, heck yeah, I'll go over there and hammer with you. Of course I'll rip up the floors with you. Woo, 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 woo. Look at that. I spilled my powder gold. Bomb Nails Clear. All right, I'm going to try to talk really fast. We only got 6 minutes. I was able to save almost all of that clear, so don't fret, you guys. Anyway, but I wouldn't say I have a sense of dread, just not really any excitement. I kind of have to drag myself over there. Whatever. These are all personal, internal things. I'll get over it. I found these in my Bluestreak crystals. Do you see these? Look at these. I want to use these so bad, but I can't figure out a way to use them or how you would even see them on a set, but how cool, right? Anyway, to make a long story short, Ness comes out here where I'm sitting yesterday, and she's like, can I talk to you? And I said, yeah. She's like, how do you feel about moving to the new house? And she's a vacillator. She changes her mind a lot. So what? I don't care. So I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm going to tell her. I'm like, yeah, I'm just really not all that excited about it. I don't know why. She tells me that every time she's over there alone, she hears weird noises, and she doesn't have a good feeling about it, and she thinks that we should just finish the remodel and sell it. We bought it for an investment property. She also said that the other day she couldn't get out of the house because there were 2 huge stray dogs at the front door barking viciously, so she couldn't come out of the house. She also said that 2 times since she's been there by herself, police have stopped by asking her if she has seen, and then they offer a specific description of someone. This is 4 miles down the same road of where we live. And where we live right now is perfect. I love it. I'm comfortable here. I couldn't love it more. Not more. And we've been here a year and absolutely nothing has happened but great things. I don't feel good about it. Lo and behold, she doesn't feel good about it. Lo and behold, she had some weird experiences over there. Same thing, hearing noises, being for sure someone's in the house. She thought it was me. Multiple times, though, because she's been over there more. So right now, we have decided this week, we're not moving in there. Now, we could just get our gumption up and be like, yeah, we're being weird. Of course, we're going to move in there and change our minds again. I don't know. But for now, that's off the table. We're going to stay right where we are and sell that place. Because I think we could actually, especially with the upgrades and the 4 acres, because the only reason we got that house for the price that we did, there was nothing wrong with it. It was move-in ready, but it was hideous. I told you guys that. I'm going to have a bunch of before and after. I'm going to show you guys a whole video. I've been taking videos all along, every step of the way, to show you what we've done. Like I said, before and after, and it's incredible, the difference. It's going to be gorgeous. It will sell, no doubt. I hated these. These were not the right color bling after all that picking. I want to show you guys this. So anyway, yeah, that's what we decided. Let me know what you think about all that. Let me know if you've ever had any experience. It's the perfect time of year to talk about this kind of thing. Not saying I believe in ghosts or haunts or hauntings or anything. Just telling you what happened. So I wanted to show you guys real quick. I've been asked this before. These are Bluestreak crystals. I buy them, when you go on their site, you can buy what's called their mixes, which is why you see a whole bunch of different color and size greens all in one little cube, and I have to separate them out like you saw me doing, because they come mixed. Well, that's the cheapest way to get them, but you get the real, like, Serenity ones that way. So these are pop-off sets, but I'm using real crystals. So I always remove them and reuse them because the backs stay good. But one way I do that, you saw how easily those came off. One way I do that is by using very little glue, first of all. And second of all, not curing the glue all the way. I cure it like only for 10 seconds. And I usually do it after my top coat so that I'm not keeping it in the lamp for 60 seconds. And they come right off like that so that I can reuse them. So I do reuse and save all my crystals like that. But then I have to put them back in their little mixes, or sometimes I'll separate them out. Like now I have all of these greens or like citrines picked out. I'll do it like that. All right, you guys, I managed to talk through the whole set. These are the nails. I have so many more sets for you guys. I can't wait to get them out to you. So I will see you guys Thursday. Happy Sunday. Leave in the comments any stories you might have had that you couldn't explain, or what do you think about our choice about the house? Talk to me. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.